everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Fourtress of. My name is Oscar, and I will be one of your hosts today. And with me, per usual, are your three other hosts, Alex, Brian, and Devin.
What is up?
Hello.
I got a haircut.
I did.
Everybody.
Thanks.
He's got less hair.
Oh, true.
I got a haircut.
We don't know what he looks
got it tied
like.
back. I saw that one
Nope.
photo. It was like a big lead up, and then no after.
I said it was anticlimactic.
It was.
Didn't plan for that.
You had the next day photo though. That was cool.
For the audience that doesn't know what he looks like, just look like Dev Patel
Right.
and look him up, and you basically got it right.
Alex is rocking his Victorian era mustache
Oh,
right
yeah.
now. He'll bring it out every once in a while.
I keep it classy. I like to tell everybody I'm a pro wrestler. If I'm feeling spicy, I'll tell everyone I'm in the porn industry. You know, keeping it classy.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. On the Fortress of, we are a podcast where we talk about movies and TV shows and video games and lots of nerdy pop culture stuff because we love to do it and we love to hang out and talk to each other about this stuff. If you guys are all ready, should we just jump into the first segment of the show?
Let's begin.
Let us begin with
News talk.
All right. First news of the day. It's here. We got our first The Matrix 4, The Matrix Resurrections trailer. We got it.
It's so good. I'm so
Very-
excited.
The teaser of the trailer, the teaser before the teaser of the trailer, where it's like the red pill, blue pill thing that you sent us.
Let's
was
talk
wild.
about that real quick. That website was
The
fucking
website was
awesome.
amazing. I think more more films or like franchises should do like website related marketing.
That was
Absolutely.
very cool. And didn't you say it's because it changed on the minute? Like it's like you right now you think it's 12:43 p.m.
Every minute. It was so good. Apparently 180,000 variations of those
Oh
of
my
the
gosh.
clips.
Wow.
That were, I was like, the coding, the
Yeah.
processing.
And that was the thing that
Like-
we were talking about it off stream, and it was super cool because I was like, how are they doing this? This feels weird. And the black guy in the first one, on the red pill one, was
Mhm.
definitely selling it
Uh-huh.
better when it came to like
Yeah.
inflection when he was talking. That's what made me, because at first I thought it was like a situation, because basically, I guess we haven't talked about what happens on that website.
Yeah, if
but
listeners don't know,
if you go to the website, it basically just has a red pill and a blue pill, and you pick one of them, and it starts playing scenes from the movie, and talking about
it's a
questions the grand
voiceover.
scheme of things.
Reality,
But it tells you,
yeah.
oh, you think it is such and such time, whatever time
You're currently watching it.
whatever time you're watching it at that time, which was super clever. Yeah, the black guy's inflection was really, really good when he was doing it, but then the white dude, his inflection was weird, so it always felt kind of awkward.
Was it Neil Patrick Harris on the blue side?
I
the
have
blue
a
pill?
theory that it's both Jonathan Groff and Neil Patrick Harris.
It sounded
And I
super
think there's
goofy,
some
I'm not
weird
gonna lie, for
connection
Blue
with
Pill.
the two of them in the movie.
New Mr. Anderson?
Interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, that shit was
Thomas.
dope.
Yeah.
I'm super excited.
So you think that it's 4:52 p.m.? Well, really, it's not. I was like, I don't really believe you, dude. But it
Yeah.
was still super cool. I hit the red pill like 18 times, and I got all these different variations. It was so exciting.
That's cool.
But I also think that's the point, is because they're on the side that wants to keep you in the Matrix, but obviously you don't believe them. So I think it kind of
Right.
works in that favor of they do sound a bit off in it at the same time.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So then later, the actual trailer drops. Like, what was it? The next day, maybe.
The next day.
Yeah.
Like 2 days later, I
Let's
think.
let's get into that.
And boy, what a trailer. What is it? Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Neo's back. Neo's back.
Yeah.
It looks like fucking Cyberpunk and what it was supposed to be. Cyberpunk
I,
2077.
honestly, I'm kind of sad that it's not 1999 anymore and that the Matrix rebooted into current day. I was like,
Right.
God, I would have loved to seen them just do the 1999 thing again with flip phones and shit. How do they get out? There's no pay phones anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
They
True.
even said in the original trilogy that they decided on like this decade as being like
This
prime,
was the perfect.
the
yeah.
prime. So it'll be
Mhm.
interesting to see what the world looks like.
Yeah.
Quotes around world.
We watched the trilogy recently.
Right. As much as I miss that green tint, it does make sense now that I thought about it, because at the end of Revolutions, it looks like that same world where it's like the bright sun and it's a lot
Mhm.
more color. It's not the weird green,
Oh, that's a very good point.
dirty, gross world. So I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. As much as I miss it, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's a different reality or sub-reality or matrix or whatever.
Right.
Right.
Like so, I mean, he's taken a bunch of blue pills. So I guess he's trying to stay in the Matrix.
Well, I think he's being given those.
Yeah, I
Okay.
feel like he like lost his memory, died, and is more or less
I
resurrected.
mean, he's Jesus. Yeah, he was made
And so
to
he's
come back.
going on a journey to like rediscover himself or something like this.
Right.
There's a young Morpheus and there's Trinity. So who knows what the hell's going to happen?
What the fuck is this movie is about?
I mean, maybe it's like a vestige of his mind, because like, because he did technically die at the but I don't know, because he was lit up at the end of Revolutions. So maybe this is like what they stuck him into the Matrix to save him or something, and then
Like his
Maybe.
subconscious is in the Matrix,
Right.
but I think also maybe like same thing with Trinity. Maybe their bodies are dead, so like they don't have a body to leave the Matrix to,
so maybe
or
they have
something.
to
I don't
stay.
know.
Maybe they have to stay in the Matrix and
Interesting.
can help others escape or something.
So here's what I think is happening. I think that somehow this is going to be a prequel sequel time loop, and young Morpheus is on a journey to get himself unplugged. He finally discovers the one, which is Keanu Reeves, but he has to convince Keanu Reeves to be the one because he lost his memory. So he goes on a journey to convince Neo that he's the one so that he can save the world and save older Morpheus. So he's like all these different parallels. And then somehow Trinity
Okay, I'm
gets
on
pregnant.
board. I'm on board.
Trinity
No,
gets pregnant,
okay.
right? Because she's pregnant in the trailer. You can see like they're like touching her belly. So I
I
think
don't think she is.
she's definitely pregnant, dude. And it's gonna listen.
It's not gonna be Mr. Anderson. That's the weirdest.
It's gonna be
I've ever
Mr.
heard before.
Anderson. It's gonna be Mr. Anderson. Mr. fucking Anderson is the baby.
Ugh.
I'm calling it
It's-
now,
You mean
guys.
I hope he
Smith?
looks exactly how he looks like in the movies with like
Wait,
He's gonna
sunglasses
come out
on and
with
just an old
he's
ass
gonna
man.
come out with the sunglasses, be like Mr.
Smith,
Anderson.
Agent Smith.
Oh yeah, Smith.
There is
Excuse
a-
me, Smith.
you
He's
mean
gonna be
Agent
Smith.
Smith.
There is
Yeah,
a
yeah,
part in that trailer where Neo sees like a weird reflection of an old man in the mirror. It
Mhm.
looks like Hugo Weaving though for a second.
Mhm.
He looks
Oh,
like Hugo
interesting.
Weaving, old man Hugo Weaving in that
I mean,
reflection.
really, they're
I
kind
don't
of
know.
more or less the same person spiritually and by the end of the third movie.
Yeah.
So who knows? It's gonna get weird. That's for sure.
It just seems
It
like the
is.
Matrix is very much intact. Like there's shots of like agents taking over people's bodies and stuff. So I just hope that I hope they didn't do what they always do when they reboot series, where they just say, "Oh, all the progress
It's
that
just
humans
Force
made."
Awakens.
Yeah, like all the progress that the humans and the machines made towards peace at the end of Revolutions, we're just going to throw that out. And like the machines are bad again.
I mean, I did say when we talked about it that why are the machines agreeing with this when they could just say, yeah, sure, and then kill them again.
Right.
So I don't
True.
know.
And we lie.
I don't know.
But it's like, I don't know, like it seems like the machines are definitely still intact, because there are a few shots of machines like, doing the harvesting thing
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know, I definitely want an explanation of like where the real world is. And it looks like we're going to get that, but I don't know.
Yeah. Couple quick tidbits of things that we saw in the trailer. We see Priyanka's character, which a lot of people just automatically assume is she that little girl grown up now? Did that program grow?
Mm-hmm.
I
Whoa.
don't know.
She got that Windows 10
Interesting.
It's
update. Let's
possible.
go.
Could be.
2.0.
Right. Yeah, and then you see Neo. My biggest concern is that because they can do the CGI stuff, that it's going to be a little over the top sometimes
Yeah.
and not look as good. Because right now, like he's just doing a lot of like force pushes a lot of the time,
Mm-hmm.
You know
which
what?
I'm
I'm here for
not
it.
super crazy about. But I just hope it looks good. I hope it looks good.
I saw
So-
him like crushing tanks on the motorcycle with his mind is like, I'm all about it. Let's go.
He's gonna be way more powerful because they can to do it now,
because
I
they got
think.
the budget for it.
They're just
Yeah.
like, we have the proper CG technology that we can just make him a literal god now, more
Yeah,
than
it's
what
gonna,
he already
it's
was.
gonna be Star Wars meets John Wick meets Cyberpunk 2077.
Right.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
don't
and
know.
I'm pumped.
Yeah.
I do like that. There's one shot where he's walking in the street and then he's going towards a bar and it's called Simu Latte.
Oh, that's funny.
Simu Latte.
That's
like,
good.
It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited. Comes out Christmas
And-
time,
oh.
December.
Also,
Man.
the song that played through the trailer the whole time was like, I loved that. That was a really good song.
I do kind of want like the old music back, like the very
I
Trent
was
Reznor
gonna
s-
1999
Yeah.
industrial music that they had.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they do. This song was hit or miss with me at points because I was like, it's very on the nose.
Yeah,
It's
very
very
on
on
the
the nose,
nose.
that whole song.
Yeah.
And it was just weird for a Matrix movie to have a song like that.
Yeah.
I feel.
I'm
I
sure
don't
it won't
know,
be in
but-
the actual movie. They always have different music for
yeah.
trailers
Yeah.
most of the time.
For
We'll
me,
see.
it kind of set the tone that's going to kind of be a more fun Matrix movie, but I don't know. It looks like it's going to be pretty intense as always. but
yeah.
maybe they'll just have a little bit more fun with it, but just setting it in the current era will be cool.
I do wonder, and I would have loved to see if they, now that they have a chance to do more, if they do add more of those trans themes that were
Mhm.
brought up in that first movie specifically. I
Mhm.
wonder if they'll do that now that they they can. I think that'd be pretty awesome. And how would they do it? I don't know.
For sure. Keanu's taking a lot of fucking blue pills. Dude. I don't think he's taking them as
Oh
prescribed.
my God, Jesus!
I mean, he's the one. He's got to take he
He's
probably has to
downing
take
them.
them every day to because you know how he sees the Matrix was all in the green.
But
code?
8 of them
Right.
bitches?
So,
That's a lot of pills.
He's probably got to take 20 of those pills a day to keep it seeing it like the real world.
Like water.
Yeah, like maybe it's like the machines are now because like now they at least know they have the one, and so they're just trying to basically keep him sedated so that they don't have to do this cycle again of him booting in the Matrix up and rebooting type of thing. They're just like, let's just stick with this and just keep him under basically. So it'll be interesting. It looks good.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
No, absolutely.
What else we got?
Our other just big news thing, the only thing we're going to talk about is because Sony had a giant showcase for the PlayStation and just threw a whole bunch of games at the wall. Some of that aren't even coming out for 2 years, but it's, and let's just start where they started. Knights of the Old Republic is being remade.
Oh my
Let's
God.
fucking go. If they ruin it, I'm going to be pissed.
Let's give PlayStation a round of applause, guys. Like,
props to them
way to
considering
go.
it was an
Way to go.
Xbox exclusive
Absolutely.
when it first came out.
Oh,
Now it's
true.
a
They fucking
PlayStation
stole that
exclusive.
shit.
And now it's a PlayStation
It's
exclusive.
pretty, yeah.
How the tables turn.
I mean, I was already sold on getting a PS5 when I can eventually find one, but this just put the nail in the coffin.
I am very
yeah.
excited having never played it.
I will build my own version.
It's not BioWare.
It's Asper Studios, which
Yep.
they
True.
said they want to keep it as like a successor, which makes me think that they are going to change things. They should change the combat. The combat's fucking dog shit.
What is Asper? Yeah.
That's just a different developer. They do a lot of these kind of ports type of thing. They're really
They ported
good at
the Knights of the Republic on a mobile phone. But
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. I thought that we talked about them before. Have they made any games? Because it sounds like this is we talked about this before. This sounds like a more Final Fantasy VII type
Yeah.
of remake where it's completely brand new
It's
stuff.
from the ground up from what they've said. Who knows when that's
Interesting.
coming? I don't remember if they had a date on there. I can't remember.
I don't think they did.
They did.
I saw they're going to have some of the same voice actors.
have
I'm not
Jennifer
sure
Hale in
which
that
actors.
teaser.
Jennifer Hale, and she's the best
dope.
ever. I love her.
Who did she play? Was she Bastilia?
Yeah, Bastila. Bastila Sean.
Bastila.
Yeah.
Word.
I think I'm never going to finish the original now because now I have the original, but I just keep putting it down and forgetting how to
It's
play
just
it.
so
And now
dated. I want to give it another shot, but I feel like I have to start all the way over because I fucked my
The
shit up.
story is so good. Please, everyone, play
Yeah.
it ever. Listeners, play it. Everyone, play that fucking game. It's really good.
But yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully they just fix the combat to make it real time or at least a better, cleaner turn-based kind of thing.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
hoping.
I'm sure it'll be a lot
With the old
more
Republic
seamless.
out and stuff
Yeah.
like that, I think they more understand combat is more fun when
Yeah.
it's real time. So I'm hoping they
Yeah.
take some
Right.
stuff from that to make it better.
Yeah.
I hope there's
Yeah.
some elements of real time strategy though, not completely just hack and slash.
Yeah, maybe like a
Yeah,
Dragon Age
yeah.
Inquisition, something like that.
Yeah, man,
Mhm.
that'd be great. That's a perfect blend for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Very excited for that. Real quick, just it's kind of sad to see what is happening to BioWare because they're not even putting out any of these games. So they're just trying to get some money so that they can eventually put something out, I guess. Because
They're taking a lot of L's.
We're gonna see BioWare on Kickstarter next week.
oh
no.
oh no.
Not for any specific project, just can you please
help
pay our
us.
operating costs
Right.
to stay alive?
Can I get $20?
Can we get
They're
some
just sitting
rent
on
for
the
the
street.
building we're in?
We need to buy lunch.
Right. Oh, so
we need pencils.
yeah.
Let's get through this news. There's
Let's
still
go.
so much.
All
What
right,
else is
we
happening?
got not a
Yeah.
little big glimpse of Project Eve, which is a game that they talked about in the past. It looks cool. It's a lot of particle effects. It looks very
Oh.
fast combat.
Is that Eve from Wall-E? I don't remember
Yeah.
seeing this one.
You control the little robot,
Oh, picking up trash and,
but
stuff.
she kills people.
Oh, whoa.
No.
Holy
Was this
cow.
the one? Was this the one with the anime girl?
Yeah,
Because I watched through the whole.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that does look like a
Interesting.
wild game.
This looks really pretty.
Yeah.
It looks
Pretty
really good. It looks really pretty. Yeah. Brian, you might have more to say about this one. Tiny Tina's Wonderland. It's a Borderlands spinoff because I know you loved all the DLCs from the Borderlands games.
Oh god, they were so good.
Yeah.
I still haven't played Borderlands 3. Borderlands 2's
Yeah.
DLC was very good. And Tiny Tina, she's
Mhm.
kind of annoying ass character. But she's fun. So I think this could be fun. It looks goofy enough to be potentially worth the
Yeah.
play. So I'll definitely look into it.
It looks, it's
Yeah.
more Borderlands, but in a cool fantasy.
Fantasy.
Yeah, the world. It looks cool. It looks fun. That's
Yeah,
coming out
that'd be
next year.
cool.
Next, Forspoken. This was
Yeah.
a game which they first shown off as a tech demo when they were showing off look at the
Mhm.
PS5, the next blah blah blah.
Oh yeah, is that where the lady's
Was, in the
got
desert?
a staff and she's
Yeah,
flying and stuff?
she's like a wizard.
You guys
Yeah.
know I love wizard shit. I'm excited for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think of all the games, I think this is the one I was most excited for. It just looked like really fun to play.
Yeah, it looks cool. You're like a this person with like these magical abilities. I'm excited because we found
Mhm.
out also that Amy Hennig, who was responsible for the first 3 Uncharted games, she wrote and directed those first 3,
Oh
is a
wow,
part writer on
Ooh,
this game.
okay.
So I'm stoked for that.
very very different styles too. That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
Wow,
I hope the
that's
story's
dope.
good.
It just looks like the movement between buildings and stuff is gonna be fun, and then like the actual powers that you have are gonna be super,
Yeah,
super cool too. So I don't know of gameplay, it just looks very, very, very fun.
yeah. Then we had Rainbow Six Extraction. They just did another trailer. It's nothing new.
Yeah.
I don't really care about
No,
Rainbow Six.
but it's way different from any of the other Rainbow Six has always been like very based in reality
Right.
and like tactical shooting and very smart stuff. And then they
What's the gimmick for this one? They're always the same with a gimmick.
it's like monsters. It's like
It's
it's like
like
a
an
zombie
alien
game.
zombie.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
It's a complete departure of what Rainbow Six has been in the past.
I
It's
I
crazy.
heard before COVID happened, they were gonna do a Rainbow Six quarantine,
Mhm.
Oof.
and they
Mm.
quickly scrapped that for a lot of current
Well, I
Yeah.
think
reasons,
this
but
is the same thing. It was just they changed the name.
just a different
I
title.
think.
Okay,
I think.
I hope
Yeah.
I hope it is like these people have like COVID-19 or COVID-20 or something. That'd be
COVID-22.
that'd be hilarious.
Oh
Oh,
no.
It's too
That'd be
soon.
really funny.
Yeah.
COVID-19 2.0.
Oh boy.
The Lambda
But
variant.
yeah, and then we got confirmation. It was rumored. Now we know they're remastering Alan Wake, and it's finally because that was an Xbox exclusive only
Mm.
as well when it first came out, and now it's coming on the PS5 and PS4. I never played it,
Should I play
obviously.
this game?
Wow.
Yeah, I have it on PC actually. It came out for PC eventually, and
Oh,
I've
okay.
just been sitting on it. And people say it's good. I just don't care.
I've heard it's
I was
you either
hoping-
really like it or you really
It
don't.
looks really cool.
Oh,
That's the
I
game
don't
where
like
he's like a writer or something
Yeah.
in the woods, and he's got a flashlight.
It's basically
and there's all
Stephen
these
King,
ghosts.
the video game.
Yeah, I know you get
Yeah,
a shovel.
I mean,
Wow.
it sounds really cool.
I like the concept of
Mhm.
having like to use the light to fight off monster demon people or something.
Yeah, it's different. I like different, but
Mhm.
yeah, I never tried it. Maybe I'll try the remaster when I eventually get a 5.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I'll probably pick it up maybe when it's like $20.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we had another Guardians of the Galaxy trailer. I will admit I'm more excited now than I was before, just because it looks. I like the fact that it's just a single player game. It's not like the Avengers one where it's just a Destiny-esque kind of game.
Maybe it won't be a
Mm.
complete fucking flop.
Yeah, so like the only thing I wish you could play all the Guardians because all you do is play as Star-Lord, but you can command the other Guardians to do stuff, which is an interesting.
Oh,
but it's like
okay.
I want to play as Groot.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be cool if you could switch off or something.
Yeah. And it didn't I don't know, the writing didn't really look as good. Like the jokes that they're
Yeah.
supposed to be like, oh, haha, that's funny. It's
Yeah,
like
it looks
Yeah.
a little cheesy.
That's fair.
Pretty flat.
I agree. But we'll see. And then one of the big ones, Insomniac is just doing work, bro. Holy shit, they are doing a Wolverine game set in the same universe as their Spider-Man game. It's a shared gaming universe, they've said.
Let's
Mm.
go.
I am super excited for this because we haven't had a
That's
Wolverine
amazing.
game in like a decade.
You guys remember the last Wolverine, like self-titled Wolverine game?
Origins?
I don't know if it was Origins. It was like a completely standalone game where you just play as Wolverine.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was called. I think it was like PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 like
Mhm.
timeline, but it was rated mature. It was bloody
Yeah.
as
That was
hell.
probably
Yeah.
Origins.
Very,
And
very
it
very
was
gory.
really epic.
Yeah.
I remember having a lot of fun with it. It was a really good game.
That is one thing I wonder is like I
Yeah.
hope are they gonna make him mature? I feel like they have to. He's got claws. He can't fight like Spider-Man.
Right.
He's gonna
I
kill
hate when
people.
sparks come
Yeah.
off of characters when you have that's stupid.
Like they did so well with Spider-Man's gameplay that they'll I'm sure it'll be good.
Yeah.
I am a fan of a more mature or rated R themed Wolverine. He's such a gruesome character.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be excited either way, honestly, though.
Mhm.
Yeah, I hope so. That one was complete surprise when I saw that when
Yeah.
he's sitting at the bar and the
Yeah.
claws just come out. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, like who is this?
Also, because Insomniac's making like millions of games. I don't know how they do it. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Abuse
We'll
of
see.
labor.
Right. Spider-Man 2 teaser
Ooh.
coming 2023, which take your time, good. But it's Venom. You get Miles Morales and
Mhm.
Spider-Man. And also, I'm assuming it's
Mhm.
Kraven the Hunter is also going to be in this. I'm assuming
Yes,
that's who's
it sounds like
talking.
it.
Ooh.
That's just, it's more things that we knew was happening, but it's nice to see that confirmation and when they roughly think.
Yeah, I didn't know Venom was going to be in the game. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
if you played the first one and Miles Morales, you kind of get an idea that he's coming.
Oh, I did not play Miles Morales yet, so that's cool.
Yeah.
But I want to know if Venom's going to be a hero, anti-hero, or straight villain, or if you're going to be able to play as Venom.
Right.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
hope he's a villain and you get to play as him.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Do you guys remember there was a PlayStation 2 Spider-Man? I think it was Ultimate Spider-Man, where you swap back and forth between Spider-Man and Venom throughout the whole storyline.
Yeah.
It was epic. It was really cool. I hope they do something similar because that's a great formula.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to play as like Spider-Man, Miles, and Venom against Kraven maybe, and Venom's maybe a anti-hero / villain. I don't know.
Cool
the Spider-Man games are good, so I'm excited to play.
Yeah.
Oh, and then they finished off God of War Ragnarok.
The most important.
Drop the mic.
Looks fantastic. I was gonna play this no matter what they showed. It could have like if it's just more of that first game, I'm totally in.
A lot of people were really upset about Thor and his body type, which became a whole discourse on Twitter because people don't understand how strong men work.
And also because they think it's the MCU is how he's actually depicted in Norse mythology, which is not how he's depicted in Norse mythology.
Stop Greekifying everything. It doesn't have to be this way.
Right.
They were mad that he was like a little heavier set or what?
Yeah, because he's a chunky boy. He's a thick boy.
They're mad because he doesn't look like Chris Hemsworth.
Thor likes eating, and Thor is strong. Like that's how you get strong. Calories. Like what?
And the hammer looks like an actual realistic hammer, not just.
Also, he's a god. He technically doesn't have to be jacked. He's a god.
I just hope, dude. I just hope that but like they've kind of toned it down with the new God of Wars, right? Like I just hope you don't kill Thor. Like
you're gonna kill
kind of
Thor.
fight and then.
Oh yeah, that's probably gonna be the goal.
What do you want to do? Walk him home? I hope you don't.
I don't know. I just want to fight to a
Send
draw.
him to bed.
You kill gods. That's
dinner.
kind of the thing.
Yeah, that's kind of like been their thing the last 4 games, killing gods.
True.
I mean, it looks like Freya from the first game and Thor looks like to be your 2 main villains, but they've also said that this is the end of the Norse mythology of God of War. Like this is where this ends. They're not going to do the 3. They're going to do
I like that.
2. Yeah, which
I
is
like
cool.
that. But I do hope slight spoilers if you haven't played any of the God of Wars, including the last one. The first 3 games, the original trilogy, it's obviously based in like Greek mythology, and then all of a sudden this new 4th one, self-titled, is in Norse mythology. And they kind of touch on how he kind of like just dipped out of his universe or realm into this other one. So I really hope if they do more God of Wars, they skip over into like more mythology for like different cultures. Like if they go over to like feudal Japan mythology or something.
Which
like
they've kind of shown that in that first game. There's like a big like tapestry that shows like 4 symbols of 4 different mythologies. So they show the big Omega symbol for the Greek mythology ones. They show the Norse one. They show one that looks like an Egyptian mythology type of thing. So they've definitely seeded that in there. So.
I don't know if I caught that. That's really cool.
Yeah,
that's a really cool.
It looks cool. You have like a wolf sled. They've added more combat to the chains, which looks dope.
Your son is older.
Your son is older, as that kid probably got older.
As you know,
it'd
time
be cool
works.
if you could start the game with all the upgrades you made in God of War 4 to the axe and stuff, and then you could just hit the ground running.
Right.
That would be cool. I'm sure you'll find a way to lose them within the first hour. Get them all back.
Oh, you mean I gotta relearn everything?
# video games.
Yeah, I just wonder if they're gonna let you get Thor's hammer as when you kill him and take him.
Oh,
sick.
I'm sure.
Like,
I'm
come
be
on.
amazing.
Like, if you're gonna add a weapon to the game,
at the same time, it's kind of very similar to the axe already.
You're right.
The way you throw it and it comes back.
Yeah.
But maybe like dual wielding both of them.
That would be cool.
Let's do that, guys.
Really cool.
Let's do
but
that.
Hey, by Marvel standards, we can all agree that Kratos is absolutely unworthy to lift Thor's hammer. By Marvel standards, this man is not gonna lift.
That is one thing
I'm
I
sorry.
did like in this trailer is that his son seems to want him to be like old Kratos, where he's just a murder machine. He's like, stop thinking like a father and think like a general. And Kratos is like, no, I'm sick of being angry like that. Leave me alone. Let me live my life.
I'm so done.
So I'm
Kratos.
I'm excited. This game is, I'm assuming, will come out next year at some point. We'll see. But yeah, and then that was the end of Sony's. That was their whole thing. They had a lot of good stuff. I don't know if anyone else had anything else to say about it, but yeah.
I just think for Kratos, man, I hope he gets like, in Witcher 3, they had like the Blood and Wine DLC, where it's basically like a retirement send off for Geralt. I hope that Kratos gets a DLC like that someday, where it's like, you just do some fun side quests and there's nothing really at stake, and then he can kind of like make peace with all the people he's wronged in the past, and then maybe break the fourth wall a little bit.
Nothing fun about that man's life.
Yeah, his life's pretty dour.
Yeah. But Probably not going to happen, but it would be nice.
Yeah, we'll see what happens after what the future of God of War is. But yeah, that's it. That's all our news. It was a lot of news to cover in a short amount of time we're trying to get there. So, are you guys ready to move on to our main topic of the week?
Let's go.
Yeah.
But guys, we did it again. We're stuck in another fortress. This fortress is very strange because I'm seeing a lot of weird signals and patterns and weird TV antenna signals. It's kind of in black and white, but there's some color mixed in.
Oh.
It looks like to me like we're in the fortress of
WandaVision.
WandaVision, WandaVision.
There you go. That's great.
WandaVision.
Devin, can you just go through every theme song and just sing them all for us?
Yeah.
That's great.
They were all pretty good.
They were. Yes, everyone. So we are in the Fortress of WandaVision this week. We are going to be talking and just discussing the Marvel first Disney Plus Marvel series, WandaVision.
Hope everybody watched it by now.
Yeah, hopefully everyone watched it right now because there's no spoiler free section for this. We're just gonna spoil the hell out of this. So
Only
if
spoilers.
you haven't watched it, do yourself a favor and go watch it because it's a really good show. It's a very, very, very well done, put together show, and it makes me very excited for the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, man. There's so much gonna happen.
So yeah, let's kick it. Let's go right in. I figured the way we'll talk about this, we'll try to be as chronological as we can, but obviously we're gonna jump around to stuff that we love. But for now, let's start with breakdown of episodes 1 and 2, the black and white episodes, I would say.
Yeah, put them together.
Also because they both came out. They came out the same day. They premiered together.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I feel like everybody after them was like, "What the hell is going on with the show?" But man, it came together so well. But I kind of love that it started out so weird and vague that you were just like, "I don't know where this is going."
Oh yeah, it made you very curious and see what was going to happen.
Yeah, so mysterious.
A lot of questions.
Mm-hmm.
I love that obviously every episode was a different era, and I loved how in the first episode they had a live studio audience for the filming of it. I thought that was an awesomely cool touch because at that point, and I saw this, they talked about it in like the special behind the scenes thing that they aired afterwards the following week was they met with Dick Van Dyke. They had a meeting with him just to discuss before they even started filming the show or anything like that. And he talked to them how about when they filmed the Dick Van Dyke show back then, it was all pretty much one take. It was like a theater play. They would just film it in one take, and that would be what you would see live or when it aired on TV. And so that's what they did with the first episode, minus like the special effects where like she'd have to freeze or like they'd be weird things that would happen. And that was really cool as a theater person to watch me like, oh yeah, this is just live theater at this point.
Yeah.
It's not even a TV show.
I did notice a lot of the shots were like really long in that first episode.
Yeah, it did feel really true to form, like an old TV show.
I think it was like they kind of tried to get into like the archetypes of like what TV was at that time, right? So like Wanda and Vision both care a lot about like being accepted and like doing like Vision cares really a lot about his job, and like Wanda really wants to impress his boss and like get in with the the cool girl group and kind of do that. So
you mean that 70s show mom?
Yeah.
Who I love is in the show.
She's so fun.
Yeah, she was great.
So kind of like emblematic of the times, right? Of the times that they were trying to parody, I guess, So I really like that touch.
Yeah, they did a great job with each era of being distinctly that era.
Yeah.
Just like everything from the costumes to the set. Which is funny with the costume part, because in the behind the scenes thing, you can see how they are dressed. Obviously, they're in color because they're not in black and white. And it's cool because they still have Wanda wearing red in those black and white episodes.
Cool.
Like her magician's outfit is red still. The one funny thing that I saw is they ended up painting Paul Bettany's face blue. So because when they tried to do the red, it didn't look good in black and white. So they ended up painting him blue instead because that gave them a better shade for the black and white episodes, which I thought was kind of cool.
That is cool. That's really cool.
That actually slightly off topic, but that reminds me of the Addams Family, where most stuff was in pink actually, because pink was a better shade than what they were using for the black and white cuts. They didn't show up well enough. So even though it's supposed to be dark and gothic and stuff,
pink instead of black for all their black attire.
They'll use pink instead of like other colors because the other colors were just showing shading really weird in black and white.
Yeah,
so they use a bright pink because it just showed up better for the scene
on camera.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the Addams Family? Just
he's in all pink.
Just a big pink set.
That's hilarious.
And like the first episode, you really don't know. Like I don't really think they dropped much of any like hint as to what was going on. And then it was the end of the second episode where she finds the helicopter, and then that guy steps out of the sewer, right? And that's when you're like, all right, what the hell is going on here?
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
But up until then, it was just like they're just in those shows.
Just before the last episode, it was like the only time where they kind of broke the mold of like the shooting style. They kind of like when he was choking and Vision had to like go inside his throat, which was super creepy, and take the food out or whatever.
Yeah,
it like shifted camera perspective into more like traditional shots that you would see. They kind of do the same trick with the aspect ratio, which is really cool. Whenever it goes into the real world later on, it's like cinematic view 3:4 instead of the small square.
Right. Oh, I loved that first time that I like went to the real world.
Yeah, the whole shift was really interesting to me. I was like, whoa, they're trying to do something.
Yeah.
And so it made me excited to see what was going to happen later as things progressed.
Yeah, am I the only one like that? Maybe it's like an old like music video thing, but I just love to watch like the black bars come down and to see like that.
It's so dramatic
ratio change like in real time. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, something's happening there.
Right. Yeah.
It's even more meaningful that they do a cool stylistic thing like that, but it's still grounded in like and realistic in terms of the show. They're not doing these things as like a gimmick or for no reason. There's real meaning behind them, which makes them so much more impactful and well done to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I liked how they just going back to how distinct they were with each era, how even the floating magic of the plates, they actually put them like on strings and wires and did all that kind of old school
That's
shit.
hilarious. It looked so believable.
It did. It was like, wow, they've really nailed the era of that stuff. Because like I wasn't like a I Love Lucy or different like fan because growing up, it was mostly like the Full Houses, which we'll get into later, and Growing Pains and shit like that.
It had something in there for everybody.
But like I knew what I Love Lucy was. I've seen an I Love Lucy episode and stuff like that before.
Yeah.
But it was yeah.
Oh, I loved it because it came on Nick at Night.
Yeah, it was just everything Nick at Night.
So the first two episodes they were kind of like I Love Lucy in like the 40s or 50s. What
50s for the first one.
Oh, okay.
50s, 60s,
60s for the second one, and that was the Bewitched opening. That was more of the Bewitched episode.
Man, the openings were so
that
great.
animated opening was fantastic.
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
I mean, all the intros, like every episode, it was like, oh man, it's just so cool. Like I can't wait to see like how they're gonna do this one. But
which I guess since we were talking about that, I wanted to put a question. Which is your favorite opening out of all of the eras? I think I'm tied between the Full House and Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah, the Malcolm in the Middle one was pretty funny.
I think that one too. I think it felt the most like this is my childhood that I know.
Yeah.
To see that like reestablished and do it so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. My only reason that I like the Full House one just as much or if not more is it's hilarious that Elizabeth Olsen is finally on Full House, considering her twin sisters were on it forever.
One Olsen didn't make it.
I was like, that's amazing. That's
so
amazing.
Funny. Oh my God.
Between that and then Baby Vision, fucking hysterical.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know how they go through all the little pictures of them and you see like Baby Vision in like a little suit or whatever. Oh, that shit made me laugh so hard.
That was really good.
Yeah. I like the Brady Bunch one in the 70s just because Paul Bettany had that the bell bottoms and then the sideburns, dude. He had those massive sideburns on that shot. Like that was pretty cool.
It was funny. He looked like a mix between Bill Gates and fucking what's his name, Jeffrey Dahmer in the 70s.
Oh my God,
it was bad. He looked real cute, but it was so funny because that's like everyone looked like that. Everyone looked like the Beatles.
Right,
everybody looked at that back then.
Yeah. Funny thing, since we're talking about the themes as well. They got the people that did the music for Frozen, the two writers on that music. They did all of the music for those themes and everything.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
That's interesting.
Which is pretty, I mean, Disney's staying in-house, which is for one thing. Yeah.
Dang.
The interesting thing about that is I felt very strong, just even though it's completely unrelated, just when I thought about this when I was watching, I was like, this feels like Frozen, wanting to stay in your own little palace that you created yourself because you're angry and hate the world. Really felt the same kind of theme to it. And I thought about that the whole time, not knowing that Frozen made music to this at all. That's interesting to me.
Right.
That's really interesting.
But it's cool. They talk about how there's this distinct WandaVision motif is somehow hidden in every single one of those opening themes, at least for the most part, which is pretty cool. That you wouldn't normally catch unless you were actually paying, like you're really listening with your ear a bit. So that was cool. And like the fact that they were able to craft all these different era themes I was just like, wow, that's incredible. And then the Malcolm in the Middle one, they got a singer.
Oh.
She's her name is
Avril
Catherine
Lavigne.
Hanna. She's like, they called her the original Riot Girl from the band Bikini Kill. I have no idea.
That's gnarly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So she's the one singing the theme in the Malcolm in the Middle song.
Nice.
Sweet.
Which I thought was
cool.
pretty sweet.
Dude, man, so many cool Easter eggs in this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But back to the second episode with the magic show is one of the highlights for me. Because seeing drunk Vision is amazing. He just Paul Bettany just brought me back to you guys have seen A Knight's Tale, right?
Yeah.
He was that character for me where he's just screaming and his voice is getting all raspy. And I was like, oh my God, he's just channeling his inner Knight's Tale for this scene right now. And it's so good.
And it was fun to see him like have some fun with the character who like, because Vision's usually was like a very serious character in the Avengers. So it's nice to see like him and Wanda kind of being like a lighter tone, which those first two episodes were. But
that's the strongest thing I've taken from this whole show is just able to see them in a different light. I think that's why all the other characters are so likable. To get moments to make jokes and kind of riff off each other. Even like what's his name, Benedict Cumberbatch. Him watching him be like funny sometimes. Doctor Strange, just to see them like he has a funny moment because like I hate Vision because Vision is just a robot and it's like why'd you fall in love with this robot? He's a robot that says sweet nothings to you every once in a while. And that was his character in the Marvel universe. Like so it was nice to see him be goofy or have little riffs, and even Elizabeth Olsen was like, "Oh, look at her! She can make a joke." Like, it was nice. I liked it.
Oh yeah, she completely dropped the accent too. By the way, that was hilarious.
Which I love how they point out later on, because like that's always been my complaint is that from Age of Ultron, her accent has like gotten less and less relevant as the movies get on. I was like, is that because they just are like she can't do the accent very well, or is like we just don't want this accent anymore? And the fact that they call it out later in the show, I was like, okay, that's hilarious.
The show is so meta.
Yeah. That's all pretty much my notes for episode 2. And then it gets into color. She's pregnant and we get the color in at the end. The very Wizard of Oz effect, which is cool.
Yeah, a lot of Wizard of Oz references in this whole movie.
Yeah. And so now we get episode 3, which now in color, which is the Brady Bunch episode we were talking about, the 70s. Basically, that whole episode is Wanda getting ready to have these babies.
And then the shenanigans that ensue.
Right, yeah. We get more from, because we got introduced to Geraldine in episode 2, and now we get more from her in color. I loved her in the 70s. Her look, her everything.
Oh my God, those pants, man, those fish pants.
Man, those fish pants are so
pretty
good.
Fun.
Bell bottoms were just a crazy trend to me. Like I think about them a lot. Like
they're
it's just like
coming back.
Are they?
Yeah, they
are. Bell bottoms coming back?
I think so.
Skinny jeans are out again.
Oh boy, it's so funny. I thought it was really sweet, the scene, because Vision misses the birth of twin number 1. And then when twin number 2 comes around, that's when they both get the names that they wanted, which is a nice moment. Because like from the comics, you know that they have twins, so you know that Billy and Tommy are both about to happen. But in that moment, it's a nice moment for Vision to be like, oh my God, there's another one. I didn't miss all of the births. I missed just half of them. And then after that, the big reveal at that episode, which got me excited, was when Geraldine drops Ultron. She talks about, she's like, Ultron, he killed your brother Pietro.
Oh yeah.
And then it cuts, and we don't get that full conversation till later in that show. But it's just like, oh shit, here we go. Like this is what I'm here for.
This is what I signed up for.
Well, I guess you kind of had a hint in the episode before where she's like, where she saw the guy come out of the vent and she's like, no. And I don't.
Yeah.
Did they ever resolve what happened to that guy? Like, he was kind of gone. And then
this
is the one where you kind of like, all right, Wanda, it's Wanda. Like you're starting to like realize that it's Wanda.
Weirder, more and more weird shit's happening. Yeah. Episode 4. That's we interrupt this program. That's the Monica Rambeau story. We get her origin, which I thought it was a nice.
Yeah, that was cool.
The coolest thing for me, or at least one of the coolest things for me, we get to see what happened the day everyone came back from the snap, or the blip, as they call it in these universe.
More of the blip.
Yeah, any more, because like the only time we've ever seen everyone come back from that was very briefly in Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions about this whole blip situation. Actually, I got a hot take later. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just fucking heated.
They had to smooth it over to make it, easy to reintegrate. You know what I mean? Because like if that really happened in real life, that shit would be.
In Far From Home, they kind of laugh it off. Like they kind of explain it in like the student, like presentation. It's like my younger brother's now my older brother. Like whoa.
Right.
Just like
in reality,
like
there are a lot of broken families.
Why are these kids still in the same grade? How can Peter Parker be in the same grade as everybody else?
Oh, yeah, right. Only the way that works is if it just happened that all of Peter Parker's friends also got snapped out, so they all happen to be back.
We're about to see how this happens right now with reintegration.
Right,
We've already decided that video learning isn't working well, so they might just put kids through 10th grade twice, 3 times, or they might all just graduate. They might just say fuck it, like.
Yeah, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, true. At the end of the day, I'm just thankful I'm not in the blip world. That sounds like it
that
sucks.
first scene though, when Monica comes back, I thought that was crazy. How it's like, there's obviously all this chaos because everybody that got blipped just came back, and then this one nurse is going with her the whole time, like, let's find out. Let's make sure you know what happened to your mother. Like,
right?
It's like you wouldn't think there'd be crazy stuff going on in this hospital. It's like, your mother died 5 years ago. Monica, are you okay? Like, do you need to talk about it for an hour? It's like, that nurse doesn't have time to do that. Like, there's all these people that just got zapped back. It's like, oh, what happened? Like, oh, Monica, where have you been? Like,
right.
Some of these people got blipped back. They probably had cancer 5 years ago. They got blipped back. Now they got cancer again when they just came back. So they still need your help. But someone else in their bed, they probably blipped back onto them in that bed.
Right.
So that's a whole weird
situation.
situation.
That is one thing
now.
that they have never addressed, and they probably never will. Is like, what about the people that were on international flights when they get blipped back?
Ooh,
are they just in space? Or are they in the sky and they just fall to their deaths? Like, what happens?
I guess
there?
so. If that's what happened, they're on their bed. That's what I guess.
You know what happened.
So.
We don't want to talk about it, but you know what happened.
Like, yeah. Oh, there's a lot of awkward blips back. I will tell you.
There's a lot of problems.
But it is like it's a cool moment to see. But it is filled with heartbreak where you find out that her mother died when she was gone, where she thought she was in a nap for 20 minutes, and 5 years has gone by. Her mother died 3 years ago, and it's like, oh wow.
And we know that she's Captain Rambeau from Captain Marvel, right? Yeah.
She's Lieutenant Trouble, the little girl from Captain Marvel, all grown up now. And this is where we get the intro to Sword, which was teased throughout every episode beforehand. We saw the little sword emblems in all the episodes before. And so we knew Sword was coming. And we find out that her mom was like the one that started it, which is pretty cool. It makes sense. She knew aliens and Skrulls in Captain Marvel. And of course she would know about space and shit.
Devin has a take over here. He looked really upset about. Is it the name of Sword? What about Sword?
I mean, yes. Well, no. I was just gonna mention, like, Sword. It felt like very early MCU. When like Shield was doing a bunch of stuff, and there's always like a bunch of government agents running around. That's like what Sword felt like, and it's like, didn't we learn?
I will say that Sword looked the most where they didn't put in a lot of their budget towards. I will say that.
I agree, absolutely.
But it's like, why, like, didn't we learn the lesson of like, and especially when you learn like what they're trying to do with, Vision and everything, it's like, didn't we learn a lesson with Shield?
It did make me think. I was like, okay, I guess Shield is still gone at that point. Cause I would be like, does Shield not work with Sword? But then I kind of forgot, I guess Shield is still dead and gone.
What happens with them? They ended up being like the bad guys or something?
Yeah, Hydra was Shield, and then Captain America said, no, fuck it all. We're destroying Shield, we're destroying Hydra, and then I just never really came back.
I mean, Hydra didn't infiltrate Sword at all.
Yeah, Sword's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, because in the comics, Sword is typically just Shield, but in space, basically. But they changed it obviously for the MCU now, where it's like they are watching out for sentient weapons now, which they changed the acronym a bit, but it doesn't matter. They're just Shield. They're just called Sword. Whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, it's like Pokemon, man.
But I like that intro of Sword, and that we get the return of Jimmy Woo from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, I love Jimmy, man.
And doing the magic trick callback was great. I was like, yes, that's awesome. And that's where you get the whole, you get to see how Geraldine, Monica, got into the universe, because she meets with Jimmy, and they're like, well, there's missing persons. Actually, it's a missing whole town. And then she gets sucked in, and then that's basically where all that story comes back. And we see that conversation with her and Wanda after she mentions Ultron, and she's like, get the fuck out. She just literally chucks her ass through like multiple buildings outside.
Right. I need medical attention. My back. Hello.
Right. I guess it's a good thing. It's a good thing Monica's super.
Right.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. She's getting powers.
Yeah. I didn't actually know anything about Wanda or Scarlet Witch before going into this show, aside from like what's in the movies that are coming out nowadays. So I actually forgot about this character in Captain Marvel. So I just thought she was like an ordinary like agent, I guess.
Right.
And when she blew her ass out of there, I was like, she's dead. Like, there's no way. And so she survives. And I should have known that she was like gonna be like a superhero or more than just like an important person.
Right.
After surviving that looked like it hurt.
Yeah.
Surprising that she did live, though. Like, Wanda could definitely kill a lot of people, and maybe I mean we don't know.
I mean, isn't she like the strongest Avenger?
They say she's more powerful than Doctor Strange. I would like to see a fight between her and Captain Marvel as who could take on who.
Ooh, let's go.
But those two are probably the most powerful in the MCU at this point. But yeah, we also get a return of Darcy from the Thor universe. She gets a nice little bit in this show as well, and this is where she comes back, and she's a doctor now apparently. So she's just been going to college apparently throughout the rest of the show. She discovers the WandaVision TV show, which is a cool way for them to show off, like, that's why all these arrows and all this stuff is happening. It's because she's literally made a TV show out of this town.
It's so hilarious. I was like, what?
I couldn't imagine being the person who pitched this and be like, yeah, this is what we're going to do. I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Are you serious? What are you talking about?
They trust that creative freedom there.
I mean, Kevin Feige
it's worked so far.
He's something else. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, incredible.
But then we get episode 5, which was one of the highlights as well because, well, first of all, we get the fun Full House opening. That was good. But and we'll talk about this episode, but I just want to jump right to the end because that's where we get the big bombshell of Evan Peters as Pietro, Quicksilver Maximoff showing up at the door, a la Uncle Jesse from Full House. And the internet blew up.
That was epic.
If you don't know, listeners, you probably do if you're listening to this, Evan Peters played Quicksilver in the Fox X-Men movies. The some really good and the some really, really bad. It was so like the internet blew up with theories of, is this the multiverse? Is he Quicksilver from that universe? Yada yada yada. No, he's not. It doesn't matter. His last name's Boner. Who cares? It doesn't matter.
Nothing matters.
We'll talk about that at the end. But it was a pretty cool moment to see that because it just I mean most of all Marvel stuff, especially if you're gonna put it in TV format, everyone's gonna theorize about this shit. That's all the internet's gonna do. If you put it on a weekly basis, that's all people are gonna do. But before that giant reveal, this is where you get the kids growing up in about an hour to the age of 10.
Because they wanted a dog. It's called because they wanted a puppy.
That was very quick.
All because they wanted a puppy.
That was the whole reason they aged up, because they wanted a dog. I fuck with it.
It is funny that they got that puppy and then they immediately killed it in the same episode.
I forgot it was the same episode.
Damn.
Was really heartbreaking.
I thought Sparky was going to die as soon as he started touching those outlets. I was like, are you kidding me? Sparky's going to be dead in 5 minutes. This is ridiculous.
So, in the comics, Billy and Tommy, they become Wiccan and Speed. They become the Young Avengers in the comics. So, that they're going to have powers.
Cool.
Which is pretty cool.
I did not know that.
But it was just cool to kind of see them on screen. You never really thought that you'd get this far into the Marvel comics, like, lore about and character roster.
Right, that's where you start getting into that deep take stuff that I'm not familiar with at all.
Yeah. It's going to get real confusing for most, including myself at times. But yeah, it was cool to see the kids come up. The kids are cute. They're fun. They're child actors. They're better than I would say most child actors in other movies that you see.
Yeah, they did a good job. In this episode too, it's the first time that like Vision starts to kind of get a little suspect as to what's going on. Like he like talks to that guy in his office. Yeah, and they fight. Yeah, it's the first time they're not on the same page about something.
That fight is dope where he's like screaming at her. He's like, I don't have any memories. What is happening? He's basically the audience. We're like, what is going on?
Those fourth wall breaks did feel interesting, and that was a big one there. Where it's kind of like, oh, is he talking to us? Yeah, this is weird.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Oh, it's so good. And then obviously that's when the door knock happens and Quicksilver shows up, and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Episode 6, Halloween, classic costumes.
Oh, great episode.
Great costumes.
This might have been one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Halloween's always fun.
I like Vision's yellow chucks and how the way they're getting away with his goofy costume. It says they're calling him a luchador. And then Wanda in her classic costume with the crown, the ridiculous looking crown. But you get a lot of cool tidbits from Pietro in this where he is fully aware that Wanda is doing all this. And he's totally fine with it. And he's like, yeah, whatever. It's cool. This place is dope.
And that's where you get that meta fourth wall break thing where he's like, yeah, it's my job to be, the stupid little brother that helps you out and then also kind of nags you from time to time for about 10, 13 minutes. And I'm going to be in one episode and then I'm going to leave. And everyone's like,
wait a second.
What? And he's like, yeah, okay, I'll see you later. Oh, okay.
And then she yeets him through the hay.
Yes, that was great. Where he's like, well, your dead husband's going to die again. And she just chucks him.
Need to go wee.
This is why I like Evan Peters for this. I'm glad they didn't pick actual Pietro for this, because I don't think he would have been able to pull off like the jokiness that I think we needed for this. Evan Peters is so good at being a dick, I feel like.
Yeah,
so charismatic.
I could see that.
And I think that really made like it was like a perfect fit despite it being useless completely.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just loved it a lot.
Yeah. We could just talk about that now in the fact that that's one of my, I think, biggest disappointments out of the whole series is his character for the most part, because by the end of it, he's basically just a funny meta joke and for people that have watched the X-Men movies. Because if you were just watching the MCU and this, that his arrival means nothing. It means absolutely, or Evan Peters himself means nothing to you. And so I was like, oh, that's kind of a bummer that it was just for this funny little X-Men Easter egg. It's not going to be a multiverse thing. It's not going to be anything like that. Because just for me, by the end of it, it seems like he's not coming back, and this is it for him. I would like to see him come back, and maybe they're doing something, but judging just from watching how it all went down at the end, it seemed like this is it. And I was like, if you were going to do this, I would rather you had OG Pietro come back. But I think you're totally right behind that. Evan Peters was perfect for the role that they wrote for this character.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it makes sense with the backstory of the TV show in theory, or in the end, she like goes to this town and takes over the whole town, and you see that everybody that lives there is taken over into this character,
right?
Including homeboy, right?
Ralph Boner.
No, he was captured by the other woman, right?
Well, I think he was a member of that town. I think that was his house. I think she just moved into his house and put him under that spell with that necklace at the end.
I guess who got there first, Wanda or Agatha?
I think Wanda.
Yeah.
And then Agatha probably felt the power.
Right.
She has that power to feel the power.
And then showed up, and then
But it was like New Jersey, and like she was at the Salem witch trials, so like, or like she was, she was up in New England, so she's around the area. Agatha.
There are definitely a lot of unanswered questions by the end of this show. Let's say that.
And that was definitely the Halloween episode. That first time when she like does that laugh. That's the first. Like, if you didn't know it already, that was like the moment where you're like, all right, like, you know, when she's in the car and she's talking to Vision, like that was like, oh, that's a good witch laugh.
Yeah, that was kind of creepy. I didn't see that coming though. I didn't know about her character as a comic book character. So the twist of her being like the ultimate villain, I guess you could say, was really surprising.
Yeah. And it was also like, do you think it was more like the time had gone on that, or do you think it was always the people on like the periphery of the town were kind of like, you know, like that one person's like in the front yard, which is like the tear going down the face.
That is one of the scariest moments in this whole show is when she's putting up the Halloween decorations over again and then tear just dropped. Oh,
right. And the husband's just like picking up a bucket and doing the same thing in the background.
Fucking horrifying.
And what was that? Was that Wanda just not giving them good enough instructions because there was just too many people to take care of?
It's too far out of her algorithm.
Exactly. I think she can only mostly control the people that are closer to her, and she just doesn't give a fuck about those people.
The way I looked about it was like at The Sims, when you like turn the free will all the way down, so you have to like control all the characters by yourself. And like sometimes you have too many family members. You have one that's just sitting in the bathroom. She hasn't given him another task yet. So it just kind of felt like that. That I was like, oh shit, I forgot that he's got to go to work. Fuck.
That is the perfect way to put it.
So she just slide on the slide for 12 years because I forgot to make her do something else.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, Vision going out and exploring was pretty cool. And then him seeing Agatha and then him almost dying for the third time at this point. He almost died.
Third time.
Him just getting disintegrated and he's out there and all he's saying is help them. Like that's like a hero moment there where he's like, as he's dying, all he cares about is saving the people in this town because he knows what's happening at this point. He's like, now he knows. Now he's in on it.
Yeah.
That Ellis Avenue man can't go past it. They told the kids that too. Remember, kids, don't go to Ellis Avenue. And you just see fucking Agatha sitting there. It's like, oh, I got lost. And just Ellis Avenue just sitting there in the corner.
Yeah.
I just love how she was just playing him. I mean, like she needed to get him away from Wanda, but like, man, she played him so hard. Like she finessed them so much. She did. That was great.
Yeah, that's pretty much that. We get to the next episode, Breaking the Fourth Wall. That's the Modern Family episode. Opening, which was really well done. Like Brian, we were talking about the testimonies and stuff. They did such a good job with those. Mostly the Visions are just so funny.
I've never felt Vision as a funny character, but I loved him in that episode.
That was great. I like that one.
It's so funny. Or he just gets up like, what am I? Who am I talking? Why am I talking to you?
Like, what?
I need to get out of here.
He's like, I gotta go see my wife, and he just takes off and he flies away after he's sitting in traffic with Darcy for like 2 hours.
That, and I think that one had the best commercial as well. I know we haven't really talked about commercials in any of them, but the antidepressant commercial that they had, where they were just like, if you want to have any sort of life of any kind, this might also make you more depressed and die, and then also kill yourself. It's just like all these like really awful things, and the person's just like, yeah, living my life.
Yeah.
It's like that's exactly how all those commercials are.
Let's talk about the commercials. I mean, what it like? I thought they like each one was kind of like for a different trauma that like she was trying to deal with, Wanda.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'll break it down real quick. So, because I was going to ask
smart.
what our favorite commercials were. So the first one is a Stark toaster mate, which is just Stark and how he killed her. One of his bombs killed her parents.
Yeah.
The second one was a Baron von Strucker watches, which is Hydra stuff, because the Hydra is what experimented on her. The third one was the Hydra soak, the bath soaking commercial, which is just more Hydra stuff. The next one was in episode 5. It was the Lagos paper towels, and Lagos is the place in opening a civil war where she blew up that building and killed all those people by accident. Wow. And it's like Lagos paper towels for whenever you make a mistake, just clean it on up or something. So I was like, oh, that's a clever way to do that. All right.
Oof.
And then we have the last two are the Yo Magic commercial, which I think is one of my favorites because it is so 90s.
It's so 90s and also super depressing. Open the yogurt, bro.
Oh my God, it's horrible. I mean, like, obviously we understand that is like how Agatha sucking the magic out of her. But at the time I was like, this is the one I have no idea what this represents. This is so creepy and terrifying. And then obviously you get the Nexus, the antidepressants commercial is the last one.
Yeah. I mean, so each one was like a different thing in Wanda's mind. So that was really cool how they threw those in there.
Yeah, that's a really nice take on it.
Because I guess because if we haven't said it already, this show's about grief. This show is about grief.
Grief and trauma.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious. And so each of those is a different trauma that she suffered through.
I said earlier that Agatha was kind of the big bad, but definitely grief and just her mental emotions are like the biggest villain of the whole series.
I'm telling you, it's Frozen. This whole show is just Frozen. It's I don't know any of the characters' names from Frozen. So the lady in the Ice Kingdom, Ice Lady,
Elsa.
She was help. There you go, Elsa. She was helping with their grief, and she needed to go and be by herself and like process this grief and emotion. And then you had whoever that dude was that acted like he wanted to marry Anna, her sister. He was just trying to take advantage of the situation, kind of like Anna. Agatha was. Just trying to, is it Anna as opposed to Anna? I don't care. She's a white lady.
She just wants to make a snowman brand.
European white or American white. I'm American. I don't think I'm offending anybody with that. I don't know that.
I'm offended.
Anywho, yeah, he was taking advantage of the situation. I think Agatha was kind of doing the same thing with that. She wanted to harness this power and use this power for bad because she saw it and was like, I could probably finesse this situation. So boom, that's my hot take for the day.
And then Vision is just Anna, the sister that's just kind of running around and enjoying the whole thing.
I think you just pissed off a lot of Marvel people, Brian.
I do think it was better than Frozen. I think it had less plot holes, but we don't have to go that far. I never saw Frozen 2, so I don't know if they ever filled any of those holes.
Frozen 1 was great.
But wait, do you guys have anything else on 7? Because I feel like we're kind of naturally going into 8.
Well, 7 is the big reveal with Agatha.
At the end of 7,
well, there's two big things. Before the Agatha thing, you get fucking the superhero origin of Monica Rambeau. Like it's a full on power set right there at the end. And she goes through the barrier because she goes with Jimmy Woo. Her and Jimmy escape because we haven't really talked about Hayward, the director of Sword, who has, I would say, the worst arc in this. He goes from 0 to insanity. He goes from like, okay, he kind of seems like a normal dude, to almost shooting children in the finale. I'm like,
as soon as they show up to Westview, he just turned into a straight dick. But before that, he was okay.
Yeah, that's the weakest part.
No, I feel like he was always a dick. He was probably born a dick, and he's gonna die a dick.
Well, I feel like they try to justify it where he says earlier, he's like, you have no idea what those 5 years were like. You weren't here. Blah 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 blah. So it's like, all right, he's got dealing with his own things, but this man went from 0 to 60 for me when he just started to shoot these kids.
I just feel like he was a good actor, even within the show. He was putting on a front and like a good villain. I didn't see it. I didn't think that was too fast. He was just always covering himself up. I never trusted him. I didn't like his face.
Yeah. I don't know that it was too fast, but it did feel too jarring the way he kind of did it. Like, because he didn't explain enough of his reasoning behind it. Like, I'm sure life was not great these 5 years during that blip. Don't get me wrong, but like, I want to sympathize more with you the same way with like, you know, the villain in like Black Panther or something like that, where it's like, yeah, you're bad, but I get it because life sucks. And it was just like, no, this dude just really wants Vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's immediately like, Wanda's the villain. We need to stop her, kill her, whatever. I don't give a shit. Shut up. You're under arrest. Get out of my base. I'm like, holy, all right, take it easy. Damn, dude.
I thought Jimmy Woo was your boy, man. Come on.
Right.
I feel like if he hadn't set, like, our first impression was his meeting with Monica, where he's like very warm and like generous to her. So I feel like if they had maybe set that tone a little different, where like, you know, maybe she's a little like, you know, leery of him trying to go to this situation, and maybe it would have been less jarring. But it was definitely like he turned on a dime, like just 180 real hard.
Yeah.
But
I could have done with a little more, but I understand, just because he's ultimately not the big bad of the show. So whatever.
Yeah, who cares?
But he goes out like a punk ass,
Mhm.
and then that's it.
Also, fuck them kids.
And then was it this episode at the end where they revealed that they put his Vision's body back together? Was that the end of this one?
No, that is at the
shit.
I thought so.
at the end of 8, because we still at this point think that Wanda took Vision's body because he has that fake footage of her breaking in, and you assume that she took his body.
Mhm.
You don't get that reveal till later in
the end of episode 8.
because you see her go visit Vision, and she doesn't take his body. So Hayward's a fucking liar.
Piece of shit.
But yeah, we get Monica becoming super. She has a little bit of a head-to-head fight with Wanda. She gets to strike the superhero pose, which I was like, whatever. Okay.
You know it has to happen.
That was so, like, see Monica transform into what we assume is Photon, or before she would become Captain Marvel and Captain Marvel 2. And then at the end of this, you get the first mid-credit scene for the show, which is the Pietro saying Snooper's gonna snoop as she's trying to sneak in, because you get the big Agatha reveal, which everyone, if you knew who Agatha Harkness was, obviously not everyone knew who that was, but if you knew that she was a character, this reveal was nothing.
But that song hits though.
Yeah, it came with a bomb ass song.
It was Agatha.
I love that actress so much, and that was like, I felt like the big thing for me is knowing the actress, that like even if you didn't know what character she was gonna play, you knew she was gonna be a bad character, because she just loves playing bad characters and she's so good at it.
She's got such a good laugh.
Yeah, she's got this like California mom kind of like vibe to her, and she plays it into it so well. So she's always like really like, but she pretends to be nice, but she's really an asshole real bad. That's like her jam. And I just love seeing it because she's so funny.
Yeah, Catherine Hahn.
Yeah, she's a great actor.
I think, was she on SNL? I think she was on SNL.
I wouldn't be
She probably was
surprised.
at one point. I don't know, though. She's
I
very
know she was
funny.
on Parks and Rec. And she was a funny character in that.
That was a big, and you kind of knew something was going suspect. Because the whole time before, obviously the last 2 episodes, I thought that like, once you kind of knew that, like, because once Wanda started showing some signs of confusion, which she did, like when Pietro showed up, you're like, all right, so, you know, Wanda's maybe playing along with this, but she doesn't know who set it up. I thought it was somebody who's trying to get at her kids. And then at the end of this episode where it's like, oh, the boys are downstairs. It's like, oh shit. Like, you know, now it's all become clear. Like, you know, Agatha's the bad guy.
That's where I was like, this is the biggest twist you can see coming from Mile. Where she's like, yeah, the boys are probably in the basement,
Like,
hanging out.
They're down there with those roots coming out of that old ancient chamber.
Excuse me, Agnes, your basement's real fucking gross, girl. You need an exterminator? Like, what the?
She needed some help down there.
Oh shit!
And I love how, in classic superhero fashion, she just fucking walks in there like it's nothing. Like,
Yeah,
as soon as I see the
holding
first
a rabbit, literally petting a rabbit like a maniacal villain.
I'm like, Wanda, turn your ass around, go get Vision, and then go back in there. But don't just like, this looks super suspect. Let me just walk right in. Like,
it was almost like a
Dumb.
bad like horror movie of that genre, kind of like dipped its toe into like a different genre there.
I was surprised
Yeah.
the door didn't
Yeah,
shut
yeah.
behind her and knock her down the stairs or something.
And that we at the end of this, also with the Agatha reveal, we get the little foreshadow of how the witch who created the runes is the only one that's capable of using magic in that
Right.
because that will definitely come into play by the end of it.
Mhm.
And then we go to episode 8, which I called the therapy session because that's all this episode was.
Yeah.
But it's a really good episode.
Yeah, so good.
Agatha's her therapist in this whole episode. She takes her through like four major therapy sessions.
Mhm.
The first being her flashback to her being a kid, and that's where you get the sitcom-y stuff, and the Stark bomb that blew them the fuck
Yeah.
up. My God,
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to happen that jarringly. Is that a word? Jarringly? Oh,
What was like? Did the parents expect them to die? Because like they saw gunfire, like right outside in the street, and they just like sat back down to keep watching the show. It's like,
I think that was just their day-to-day life in Sokovia. It's like, oh, another war is happening outside. It's just
oh
like,
shit.
That's what I think to me it seemed like.
But you, like, even if that was normal day to day, like, wouldn't you like, I don't know, duck and cover instead of just like, oh, let's just pretend it's not happening
100%.
outside? Like, that was so goofy to me.
Some people might.
Yeah, I kind of felt like it was odd that if they did think it was normal, like why not at least like take cover? But then part of me thought like, okay, maybe they realize that the parents realize like this is gotten so bad, like there's nothing we can do. So let's just have like one more nice night as a family.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, maybe.
But either way,
it's very sad.
Yeah,
I did like how they kind of retconned. Sort of. It's kind of still wishy-washy that Wanda did have powers before the Mind Stone stuff. Because Scarlet Witch's original comic book powers are very much not what she does in the movies from like Age of Ultron on.
Yeah.
Her basically power set is like she's got like probability magic. She can like change the odds of something happening, sort of, in a way. And which is why she's saying, you use the probability hex. That's why the bomb didn't blow up. You made so the probability of it blowing up wouldn't happen. And so that was a kind of nice little retcon to her powers.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then also Red Kamehameha.
Well, she always had magic. She was always the Scarlet Witch, right? And then the Mind Stone helped like activate, or it helped speed up her powers. But she never, this whole time in the MCU so far, she's just been kind of blindly using magic that she like instinctively that. Now she knows that she could actually, with some training, be even more powerful. And then, I mean, obviously we find out, later, but like still, I really liked how they made it more official of like, where her powers came from, because
they gave her the name, dude.
Yeah, I thought that was really dope way of giving her the name. Because I didn't know how that was gonna play out either. But I think in one of the episodes when they're about to like when they're figuring out like what Wanda's doing, I think somebody in S.H.I.E.L.D. is like, okay, who is she? Like, she's an Avenger. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, well, okay, well, what's her fancy nickname? All these guys got like funny names. Like, no, she's just Wanda.
So they never called her Scarlet Witch in the.
Nope.
That's so
The
interesting.
only time they say witch is in Age of Ultron, after Bruce Banner has been fucked with and he's going and destroying the city, and Tony Stark says that little witch is messing with your mind. That is the only mention they get to any kind of witch stuff, but they never call her the Scarlet Witch. Yeah.
Until now, and now it's like an official thing that
now she's the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, and I really liked how they fleshed out the kind of magic world. Like, so the witches that were in Salem with Agatha, that that kind of tried to kill Agatha for stepping above her, I guess, place. Like, they use magic in the same way that like Doctor Strange and them do, just maybe from a different source. But like magic works uniformly across the MCU, at least so far. So you have to pull from like different dimensions and whatever else to do it.
I wasn't crazy about that Salem set. I'm not gonna lie. That looked pretty
stupid. It felt a little True Bloodish.
I'm not gonna lie. Same thing with by the end you see Agatha in her full costume, and I was a little shocked by it at first. I was like, man, it's good, but my first initial thought was like, this looks like some Spirit Halloween shit.
Oh, no.
I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I mean, I get it because she's a witch. She's like supposed to be like a classic witch.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, but it was weird seeing that in the Marvel universe.
It was witch costume number 7.
I was feeling kind of hocus pocus, but I love that movie. So it was
very hocus pocus.
It was great.
But yeah, and then she calls that she's got a chaos magic, and then she calls her the Scarlet Witch officially, which was just very cool comic book moment. But before that, her second flashback is her Hydra experiments, and she gets the Mind Stone experimented on. And you see that little silhouette of the Scarlet Witch, which is pretty cool. The third one being probably the most important. Everyone's heard this quote a million times probably at this point. It's become a meme, where she's describing her depression to Vision as it's like a wave that just keeps crushing her over and over again. And then Vision says, he's like, I've never felt lost because I've never felt lost because I've never had a loved one to lose. And he says, but what is grief if not love persevering? And the internet went wild over that quote as well.
Yeah.
It's a good quote. It's very Vision-y to say. And it's a nice moment for the two of them, for Vision to fill that void of her love. Because, I mean, yeah, like a lot of people think that grief is just love with nowhere to go, basically. So it's just a nice little moment that we don't get to see, we never got to see in the Civil War or whatever that would have taken place.
Going through those 3 flashbacks, you can see like how obvious, like like Wanda, and in the main movies, you never really think of her because she's always kind of a side character. You're like, oh, it's Wanda, whatever. But like going through all that, it's like, damn, she lost her parents, she lost her brother. She lost Vision? Like, after all that, like, she, and then she finds a guy that she can love, and then she loses him too.
She loses Vision twice in like a span of 30 seconds.
The way she lost him was super fucking traumatic. Like, she had to kill him herself and go through all that, and then watch him come back to life and just get, like, tossed aside, like, just fucking dig my fingers into your forehead, your skull, and just dig out the, like, oh man, that was so gruesome.
I mean, that's why that moment when she comes back and sees Thanos and she says, "You took everything from me."
Yes.
And he's like, "I don't even know who you are." It's like that. It's like, yeah, he fucking took everything from her.
That became a good meme too.
I want to say I love that.
Yeah.
You could see how easy it would be for her to turn, like, to go bad or just to lose her control because she's lost every single person in her life. And I love that this episode developed her character like that to show you, like, where it came from.
I agree with you. I think that was a big issue with her character in like Civil War on up. For me personally, it was like she had all these things she lost, and I kind of felt bad, but I was just like, I don't care about her. You know what I mean? I can sympathize because that sucks. I watched this man also get his fucking forehead ripped off. Like, that sucks. But like, I didn't get a feeling. So it's just like, well, this is a character that exists that is kind of cool, but doesn't really mean anything to me yet. The same way that Tony Stark and all these other characters kind of did.
That's fair.
So it was interesting to finally be like, okay, I can really like empathize as opposed to sympathize with.
And like the thing is, like, Vision, they did like, that was such a good tragic scene in Infinity War where he's like, it's okay, like, you could never hurt me. Like,
that's one of the best scenes.
Oh my God, it was so good. And like, you barely know any of their romance yet, but they were just like, I don't know. That's just another reason why the MCU is so good. Cause like, I'm like borderline into tears about, when she starts blasting him in the forehead and she got to kill him. Like,
it's such a beautiful love story that they have. And I think that they really dug into it in this whole series, which is one of the main reasons I liked it so much. It was just so much fun to watch their chemistry together.
That's funny. Absolutely. I'm the opposite. I couldn't have cared less until now. I did not care about their love story until now. And even then, I'm still like, whatever.
Until now.
I mean, but that's the fact that the show made you care them, even if it's for a little bit more. That just shows how well they did it.
Absolutely,
so
for sure.
But yeah, we get the fourth flashback of her going to visit Vision, and you get that nice callback from Infinity War where she puts her hand on his forehead to feel the Mind Stone, and she says, "I just feel you," and she does it to his corpse, and she says, "I don't feel anything. I can't feel you anymore," or whatever. And then you find out Haywood's a fat fucking liar, and she never took his body away. And she just went to their little home why did Vision buy her a home in Jersey?
He didn't buy her a home. He bought her a fucking like brick. Like, it was just a foundation.
Why did he buy her
I think that's smart.
a piece of land in Jersey?
It's really close to New York City, which is where like the Avengers are.
No offense to Jersey.
Nice and quiet.
It made me think a lot of things too, though, because when she was driving, she drove a Buick, and I was like, I assume you guys probably got paid for some of this shit, right? And like, you only drive a Buick?
It was so weird seeing her drive the car around
Jersey,
like that.
Like,
that was so goofy.
But like, also like, just a Buick. Like, I'm surprised. Nice, and I mean, a Buick's not cheap, but it's also not super expensive.
Right? When you got Tony Stark as your sponsor, come on.
She's a modest lady.
She lives in New Jersey.
It's just crazy that she was off on her own too. It's like, hey, none of the Avengers would like, kind of, hey, like, Wanda's been through a lot.
Yeah, you think that Hawkeye, since like her and Hawkeye had the connection for most of those movies, you think he'd reach out and be like, "Hey, how you doing, Wanda?"
Nope.
Because we both, like, by the end of it, I lost Black Widow, you lost Vision. It's like, you think he'd check up on her every now and then.
Hawkeye still have kids.
Maybe she threw out her phone like, I don't want this.
She's just driving this Buick around. And also, like, the fact that they, like, that was the whole thing with Ultron, and like, the whole point of Ultron was to like not let government experiment with a sentient super weapon. And then they're just letting, like, the Avengers just letting them. I mean, I guess it's kind of chaotic when you're coming back from Endgame, but still, it's like the fact that Sword had his body in the first place is crazy.
It doesn't feel it because it's been a year without Marvel, but this takes place like a week or two after the end of Endgame.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So it's like it hasn't been the year for the real world as it has for these characters.
Right.
And then the mid-credit scene, we get the reveal of Vision the White, as I like to call him. I think Devin would understand that reference. Because when you come back from the dead, you just come back whiter, and he's Vision the White now.
Yep, that's how it goes.
Is that a Lord of the Rings reference?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a pretty cool comic book, because White Vision is very much a comic book character.
Let's stick with the Vision the White.
Vision the White.
White Vision sounds,
I like Vision the White. It does. I always felt weird. That's why I was like, "Y'all, Vision the White is way better."
We got White Vision, because especially when Vision wears that turtleneck at the end. Well, we'll get into that. We've got Black Vision and White Vision.
Oh my God, we're gonna talk about Michonne.
White Vision. It's where you haven't been taught history properly, and you walk around thinking everything okay.
Oh, no.
And then he gets him woke. He wakes him up. Let's go.
Yeah.
You need you some regular vision.
And then into the series finale, as the episode is titled. My biggest issue with this finale, and I love the finale. There's moments of it I love, but my biggest criticism about it is the magic is weak as piss for me. And it's just two floaty people throwing different color energy balls at each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's my same reasoning I don't like the first Doctor Strange's magic, because it's just they're just fighting each other with orange sparks and nothing else. There's like
it's lazy.
I can put you in the mirror dimension, but I'm gonna use a sword.
Right. Doctor Strange in Infinity War, he does so many different magical things and spells and stuff that he never did in his origin. And that's why we came to this. And I get it. Wanda's power set is not his power. It's not the same type of magic. But I was just like, oh, really? You're just going to throw different color energy balls at each other for 15 minutes? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we're doing? Okay.
Like the MCU usually does a really good job of that, like fight choreography and like doing new things that you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally agree.
I guess it's still a TV show size budget. Maybe that's like their limit.
But I would say the Vision fight I liked more. One, because
cool.
Vision has more powers. He gets to phase and they're shooting lightning or their little power beams at each other. And I love how that fight ends in a philosophical debate. That is my favorite thing. That is the most Vision-y thing.
Do you know this? Well, naturally I do. And then he just explains it. I'm like, this is nerd fight. They dribbled down into a nerd fight.
Yes.
It's like watching Death Note. Like, well, naturally.
With that music.
But concordantly, consider that.
Yeah, but because you get the them blowing shit up, you get the fun, that stuff, but then it just ends with a debate, and he restores his memories, and he's like, I am Vision, and then he just dips the fuck out, and he's like, bye.
Yeah. He got his eyes back. So does that mean?
That's what I'm wondering.
You know?
Yeah, what I took from that is he has all the memories, but none of the emotional attachment to them.
Well, that's sad.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think that's setting up their next obstacle for this couple to go through. It's kind of like a Gamora and Star-Lord. Is that now we have to see if their relationship can go back to what it was, because this Gamora doesn't have the memories. Although this Vision has the memories, but I don't think he instantly loves Wanda. I think he has all these flashbacks of this person that he knew, and obviously he's like, I'm supposed to love you, but I don't know you, type of thing.
I love 50 First Dates.
Yeah. It sounds like 50 First Dates, but at least he has like 100% of everything, not just like several videotapes.
Yeah.
Right. He's got everything except for what happened in WandaVision, because it's just his body. So he's got everything up until Thanos ripped his head off.
Yeah.
Right. And now he won't be a government super weapon, which is what, so that was definitely an important thing for Vision to give him all those memories so that he could, maybe come to the light side, basically.
Right. But before that, we get the little Maximoff Incredibles family pose. Which was pretty fun.
That was great.
That's when, the kids almost fucking die and get shot, and it's terrible. And Monica gets to use her superpowers of absorbing the bullets, which is
kind of
cool.
It like went through her, slowed down.
Yeah, that was so vague. Like, so does she keep that now, or like was that just for the hex?
Does she keep the bullets or the powers?
Now.
Well, because
like a souvenir.
No.
Because that whole like thing of her like going back through the going back into it the second time, being like, your body can't survive it, and then she's like randomly just has this very vague set of powers. Like that whole thing seemed like it was kind of like just they didn't need to do that. I don't know. Seems like they could have handled that another way.
Yeah,
right. I thought she got her powers differently. That's what I was kind of confused with. I thought she got her powers from like, I don't know, getting like shocked by a weapon or something.
Yeah.
Similar to the way that Captain Marvel did when she
maybe.
got too close to her little, doohickey. I thought it was like the same kind of energy.
Unless maybe she's experienced some other stuff, or it is just she got her powers from this weird hex that Wanda created, type of thing. They might just be doing that.
Yeah, who knows? There was a lot going on in this finale, and that was one of the moments where it's like, I don't know that this needed to be in there, because there was a lot of chaos going on in that throughout the fights and stuff. You're just kind of like
all that chaos within the chaos magic itself. It's just two people shooting beams at each other like Harry Potter.
That's ultimately my problem. I get it, because then because she's just doing that to create the runes behind her and stuff. So it's like, okay, that's fine. I will say, I thought it was going to be a whole really terrible, oh no, the villain just wants the power, but now it's too much power and I explode and you win, hero. I'm really happy that they didn't do that. I was like, please don't do this.
It's going to be full Star Wars unlimited power.
Yeah. I was happy that they didn't do that. But yeah, it was fine. But I loved the reveal of the Scarlet Witch costume and her just saying, yeah, fuck it, this is me now. What a good costume. I don't know how they made that crown work, but it works. It looks dope.
But dude, like the cool thing, this costume, like she could easily be like a bad guy too. And that's kind of like, I think where where they're going to go. And we'll talk about that again. But like she almost like you could just as easily tell me that she's the bad guy. And she looks kind of like, Maleficent or something.
She does, yeah.
Like she's definitely like foreboding, like very, very intimidating and kind of like just kind of scary.
That's the whole thing with the Scarlet Witch lore, right? That she's could like, well, at least in the context of the show, she's like this evil person that'll like destroy the world or something.
Sort of, yeah. In one very famous comic, she destroys all the mutants from the universe.
Oh,
she just takes them all out of the universe. Yeah, which is what a lot of people thought they would do the reverse at the end of this, and she would bring all the mutants in, but they did not do anything with X-Men or anything like that. Which I was fine, and I'm also fine because everyone thought they would bring in Mephisto, who's basically Marvel's the devil, sort of.
Yeah,
they thought he was gonna come into this because he's got to tie into the storyline with her kids and stuff. But by the end of when Agatha's revealed, I was like, there's no way. There's only 2 episodes left. There's no way they're gonna bring a man villain and undermine the woman-led villain right now in the last minute and be like, no, it was really me, this man, this whole time. The devil, in fact.
It's me, the man. Doesn't she also have a son, Harkness?
I don't know.
I think he's in the Fantastic Four. I can't remember his name for the life of me. I didn't think they were going to bring him in there.
She has a son who's, whatever the rabbit's name, I can't remember what the name of the rabbit was, is the name of her son, yeah.
Oh.
Something like that.
Well, like after she beats Harkness, like it's like is she like homeless now? Like where does she send her? Like
she's
Agatha?
sent her to New Jersey.
Yeah, she's like, I'll keep you around in case I got to come back and ask you some questions.
I think she's gonna end up doing that.
That's
right?
a good point.
Doesn't she use Agatha to like help her hone her powers or whatever? But until then,
she's probably gonna come back.
Until then, she's just living in New Jersey as a nosy neighbor.
What a terrible fate.
What if Agatha was playing into it and was just like started acting because she knew she couldn't win, and she's like, okay, as soon as she touches my head, I'm gonna pretend like I'm playing dumb. But really, behind her back, she was crossing her fingers. You know what I'm saying?
She's like, the first hex, the first runes known to man, the finger cross.
Yeah,
I have my fingers crossed.
Yeah.
There's like also like I feel like we give Wanda a big old pass for like once she knows what she did, just kind of going with it, because like all these people, like when they started that fight,
God, yes.
that one lady walks up to her like she's like, I think my daughter's starving. She's been in a closet for like a week.
Like no, in any other
she's
world,
like, Wanda, just
you're going to jail.
Can you let me go feed my daughter?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Like she gets a big old pass for like maybe killing a few people through malnutrition and dehydration.
Because like Monica's like at the end, she's like, they won't understand what you gave up for them, and she's like, even if they did, they wouldn't care. It's like
I can't blame them.
It's been like a week of this hell for them.
At the very least,
it take more than a conversation.
That's 48 counts of kidnapping at the very least. I don't think that's a misdemeanor. Your girl's going to prison.
Like, oh, she was depressed.
Yeah, if Cap were still around, it would have been Civil War Part 2. It would be the Wanda pass versus Wanda not. We're not giving her a pass.
Okay. But I was real sad. Okay, you're fine. At least Vision's not killing anybody. Whatever. I said, what? That's okay.
You could kidnap all this town people.
It's also New Jersey, so fuck them.
I guess so, man.
Oh no. I did love earlier in the fight the nice little callback to Age of Ultron where she goes into Agnes's mind or Agatha's mind at that point, and she does the weird little mind trick with her, and that was like her first initial power. I was like, oh, that's a nice callback to this. And
that was cool.
When she did that, that was also one of the probably the second scary scene in this show was all those sucked out women turning on her. I was like, this is creepy as hell.
Yeah,
this
that
is
was
really
real creepy.
terrifying.
They look like that worm fish thing from SpongeBob. I was like, you got chocolate. I was like, no. Stop.
Oh man. And then so she beats Agatha, and then you get the sadness, you get the bittersweet ending of her saying goodnight and goodbye to her kids.
Oh man, I was crying.
Thank you for choosing me to be your mom.
The whole sequence was so sad.
Well done.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus.
And then Vision dies again.
For the 12th time.
Again, like I was like, when they revealed Vision the White, I was like, dude, they're gonna bring Vision back now. Like he's gonna absorb the new body or something. He's gonna come back to life because they cannot they can't tragically kill Vision again.
Slowly.
And they did it even more tragic than the first time. It was like fucking right.
My man dies more than Goku.
How many times are you gonna kill this guy? And like, how many times are you going to kill Vision? And I'm actually going to be emotionally upset by it because it's happening every time now.
Yeah. It is. It's really well. And I like their explanation of how he was the piece of the Mind Stone that imprinted basically onto Wanda when she was exposed to it. That's how she was able to bring him back. So it's basically, the way I thought of it was like Vision's body and soul were the two. Vision the White being the body, and this Vision being his soul. So you get the best of both worlds. Because honestly, by the end, watching this show, I was like, this show is gonna end sadly. Like, I think Vision's gonna die, and we're gonna see the end of Vision, which is why I'm glad he's back, because I feel like we haven't had a lot of Vision doing a lot of stuff. Because like, we've had cool stuff, but like in Infinity War, they take him out so that he can't fight, and then they kill him, and he's not an Endgame, obviously. So it's nice that Vision is still in the universe. So you do get the whole, yes, you get Vision dying, the sad part, but you also know in the back of your mind he's still out there, and they'll get their chance at their happy ending.
Yeah.
Vision is super strong and he's super cool, and I like to see him do some strong, cool shit. I think that was my biggest issue with Civil War, Endgame, all that kind of stuff, because the two strongest characters didn't do shit.
Yeah. Infinity War, oh my God, they sidelined him. They nerfed him so hard in Infinity War. Like,
exactly.
Oh, I can't phase. Because that special knife that assassin stabbed me with, like, oh darn, like,
because they knew if not, he was gonna beat Thanos' ass.
Exactly. It's like the writers were like, we have to take him out, or else we don't know how to deal with him.
Do you think they'll bring back? Because he said, like, he did say, and she kept saying, like, family is forever. So do you think, like, and I guess this kind of goes into the next part, but like, you know, do you think that they might try to bring that Vision back, and like they'll maybe use that fragment of the stone again, or do you think that Vision the White is her only chance?
Well, the stone's gone. I think, at least for me, I think it's their next obstacle is they're trying to find their love again with the Vision the White.
Well, because he did say, like, before, right as the hex is coming, he's like, we've seen how this goes before, so, or like, we've said goodbye before, so I guess, we might say hello again.
Oh yeah, that was so sweet.
And that was him, like, not the white one. So I don't know.
It was a good moment, but yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. Man, Wanda's life sucks for a while.
Oh my God.
At least she got it. She got
man.
out. She got a nice cabin by the end of the credits. She's out on the lake.
Well, since we're basically there, let's jump to that end credits. That's the lead into Doctor Strange 2, because we know that she's going to be in that.
Ooh, exciting.
Some kind of role.
Yeah.
It seems like maybe a villainous role at first.
I mean, hey,
she looks evil.
She's up to something.
She's
reading that book.
You hear her kids. I think her kids are in hell, and maybe Doctor Strange 2 villain is Mephisto. Maybe they're going to do it, or some kind of demon. You hear her kids crying out for her mom.
Right.
I don't know. She's got that evil book, The Darkhold, which is just evil as fuck looking and shit.
Well, I thought it's like she heard them from like a different dimension, and she's just gonna start opening dimensions, and then Doctor Strange is gonna be like, all right, like she's gonna open up not caring about the consequences, and then Doctor Strange is gonna have to chase her. But you can see she already alphaed Doctor Strange, because he had to do the astral projection and like study while he was sleeping.
Right.
She can do it while she's having some fucking coffee. Awake. Oh my God, dude. I can't wait for her to be a villain, a bad guy. I want to see it.
Especially because she got that costume, which looks somewhat villainous in a way as well. Like, you can play it both ways.
I would be really down for that, even though I like her so much as a character.
I like the little homage to Vision in her costume. You can see she's got like a little Mind Stone circle right in her chest as well. I was like, oh, that's a nice little costume design there, which is pretty cool. And then the mid credit before that is we see Monica meet some Skrulls, and I think they're gonna send her up to space to meet Nick Fury, meet our boy Samuel L. Jackson in space.
That'd be dope.
It's your boy.
He's now running the shield for the whole universe.
Basically, yeah. And that's the lead into Captain Marvel 2, which we already know that Monica is going to be in. I don't know what that movie's going to be.
I'm excited for all these movies coming out.
Space, absolutely.
Yeah, I want to see more space stuff. If that movie can take place in space and stuff, and like, get us more space
hopefully
stuff.
Captain Marvel will stop getting snubbed by everyone else in her own films. I want her to actually be the main character. This kind of sucks.
I don't have to prove anything to you.
Monica's gonna end up being the main character.
Might be.
Did you see the theory that like that mountain in the background behind the cabin was like a big, like it's like the mountain that she got her powers from, or like the god of chaos or something was
I
like
did
born
know
under
about
it or something like that. There were like a lot of comic book references to maybe what that mountain was behind her, but like where she was in the wilderness. But I just love the setup.
Yeah, it makes me want Doctor Strange 2 now, though.
Right, and who wants Doctor Strange 2 before?
Multiverse of Madness is going to be such an important movie. But don't you think they'll bring in the mutants then? Like from Multiverse of Madness, like that's when they'll do the reverse mutant thing?
I would like to, but I don't know. Because I remember Kevin Feige saying like he has no plans for X-Men anytime soon. Like they're going to do Fantastic Four first and stuff. But maybe we'll get it. Maybe get a little tease for the X-Men, but I don't know.
That would be really exciting.
It'll be interesting.
Either way, that movie's gonna be so good. Do you think Mordo's gonna like? I don't, because they were kind of setting up Mordo.
I hope so. I like him,
but I feel like at this point, especially if Doctor Strange is like gonna try to go chase Wanda, he has to side with Doctor Strange again. Because what are you gonna do?
Well, last time we saw Mordo, he was like, "There's too many wizards."
Well, right.
Sorcerers.
But if Wanda's just opening like dimensions and stuff, and Doctor Strange is trying to bring order to it, like how could you?
Right.
I don't know. Mordo's in a weird place right now if they want to do anything with it.
Yeah, in a way. Real quick, I just wanted to talk about just like fun little tidbits I found in the behind the scenes. Paul Bettany wears a fake butt.
Wait, what?
I knew my man was double cheeked up a little bit too much on them. I was like, wait a second.
He's got a fake butt, and I was like, oh, I have to bring that up.
Hilarious.
Oscar, was it you that told me about like Paul Bettany when he got the call to be Vision, he thought he was getting fired?
Yeah, he thought he was done. He's like, oh, that's it. I'm getting canned. It's over. And then they're like, we have this idea for all this stuff. It's like, oh, all right.
That's cool.
Yeah, that and I saw another behind the scenes with the creator of the show, who directed all the episodes, talk about how, because the show is very much about grief, and how some of them kind of represent the stages of depression, and mostly it's just denial for a lot of Wanda throughout this, and then by the end she's got acceptance. So just that leads more into the whole theme of this show is about grief and Wanda dealing with that grief and everything. It's pretty on the nose once you get the antidepressant commercial. I feel once you get that commercial, it's like, oh yeah. Duh.
And there's kind of like, and Monica was kind of mirroring her right the whole time, because she was going through the grief with her mom, but she didn't she handled it in a different way, obviously. But obviously, she only lost her mom, and Wanda had lost everybody. Maybe it might be a little bit more reason to handle it a little differently.
Right. Yeah. Overall, that's pretty much all my notes. So everything is just gushing over how good the show is and how excited I am for the rest of it. But it's just a really well done show. Yeah. If anyone have any other final thoughts on WandaVision? I think we covered a majority of it.
Watch that show. If you watch through all of this, you listen to this whole podcast, and you watch watch the show. Watch it.
Yeah, watch it. It's great.
It's so good.
It's also a good history lesson on American sitcoms throughout the past 70 years.
It's not even long. Good. Watch it.
30-minute episodes. Yeah, bring 30-minute episodes back, America.
Which is great. Great format. I don't want 25 episodes. I hate it.
God. Do you guys think there will be a WandaVision 2?
No. I don't think so.
Like a second season?
No.
I don't think so. I'm sure she'll come back in movies.
But like, how hype is that? Using a show to set up the movies. I mean, it just makes the universe even better. Like Marvel, man, every time you think that it's like the bar's here, they just keep on raising it. But like I read somewhere that maybe that the next arc, so like Thanos, the big bad, was the theme was like order, like bringing order to the galaxy. And now the next theme might be chaos, right? So that the movies might get kind of more crazy and more.
That's why you got to bring the mutants.
There might be more plot holes, more stuff going on.
We need the racism.
Racism.
Oh God.
We need the racism. Bring the mutants.
All right. That was fun, guys. Let's move on to our final segment of the show, which we like to call Free for All. My voice cracks.
Free for all.
Free for all. Title pending.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Listeners, this is a segment where we kind of just get to do whatever we want. We can recommend something. We can say what we did for the week. We can say that we just went outside today. It was kind of nice because it's not a lot of things you can do, granted. And so, yeah, it's free for all. So who would like to go first?
I can start. I did a thing.
What'd you do?
I played a video game. The end. That's it.
Moving
on. Next person.
Which one?
So I played a video game called It Takes Two. I have not beaten it yet. With a friend from the makers of
that
A Way
cool.
Out. And that game is fucking dope. This game was never really on my radar because it didn't seem like something that interested me. And it's one of those
really cool
cooperative games. We have to play with another person.
Right.
And my friend was just like, "Hey, you want to play this game?" Like I picked it up. I was like, "Okay." It was on sale, and we were playing that game for hours that night. Like I stayed up way too late on a weeknight when I had to go to work the next morning. Because that game is just so perfectly done. I don't know how to explain it, but just the puzzles and the way that it works and what it like kind of entails. Like the visuals are beautiful. The game is extraordinarily pretty. And then it's just really fun. It's a great game, I feel like, to play with people that either don't play a lot of video games or just don't play video games at all. So if you have that kind of friend or significant other or something like that just isn't really into games, show them this game and they'll probably love it because things aren't too hard to the point where it's frustrating, but they're like just complicated enough that you're like, really like, you're talking to your friend and kind of like trying to egg them on, like, come on, do better. Like, what are you doing? And there's also a bunch of little mini games throughout the game where you always have to like, and they did this in A Way Out too, where it's like, oh, how many people who can do more pull-ups? So you always have this chance with your friends to kind of like, oh, I know I'm better than you with this shit. Let's go. Let's play shuffleboard randomly. And you just do that and you dump on your friend real quick in the middle of the game. And I think that's kind of funny.
Nice.
So yes, I highly recommend that game. I can't wait to finish it because it's been a lot of fun.
That's great.
Yeah, that's cool. I've been looking for games to play with my girlfriend, so that would be.
I would definitely say try that game.
Excellent.
Yeah, I remember hearing about it a while back, but I'm gonna check it out. That sounds great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it looks a lot of fun.
So I'll go next. I got a little TV series recommendation for you guys.
Ooh, okay.
On Netflix. I know we give Netflix a lot of shit because not everything they do is amazing for their original content, but me and my wife just watched this new show called Clickbait, and I would highly recommend it. I don't know if you guys have heard about it or seen it, but it is great. It's a Netflix original TV series. I think that they're advertising it as a limited series, so I don't know if there's going to be a season 2 or anything else. Just 8 episodes, and it's like it opens up with like this family. There's like some like issues or whatever, and then not too long afterwards, one of the family members pops up. Slight spoilers for the first 20 minutes or whatever. Pops up on this website, like YouTube, but within the world of the TV show, and it's like, oh, if we get to 5 million views, we're gonna kill this person. Because like he's a womanizer and he's an abusive person, and so if we hit 5 million views, we're gonna kill him. And it's one of the family members, and so the other half, the rest of the family is on this mission with the police and the FBI to figure out who put this video up, why this person is being accused of these actions, and if they can save him or whatever. So it's an 8 episode long series, and it's kind of like a great like thriller mystery. But the wonderful thing about it for me is they didn't leave all the questions to be answered to the very last episode. They kind of gave you things every couple episode, which created more questions and more more mystery without you like having to wait until the very last episode for all the answers. They kind of gave you a lot of things here and there, but it was still like every new piece of information they gave you raised a lot more interesting questions that weren't really on your mind beforehand. So it was very, very, very well done, I think. And if you guys are a fan of mysteries or like whodunit or thriller, check it out.
It's very cool.
Yeah,
we'll definitely watch it.
I don't have much for you guys this week. I saw Shang-Chi, which I hope we'll cover soon. Shang-Chi. No, Shang-Chi. Saw it, and it was like it definitely just hit in the same way that like Black Panther hit when that first came out. It was just like a breath of fresh air, like including new like cultures in the MCU and just like new just perspectives and characters and like just kind of embracing like, oh yeah, hey, Asia is this whole continent and there's a lot of country, there's a lot of culture over there, and like there's people over there. We should probably have a few heroes from that too. So I thought it was just I was just that was like the main thing that I liked about it, but overall as a movie, just the kung fu and everything was just like, it was so sweet.
I haven't seen it yet, but I hear that they were like, we're going to make y'all watch this movie because it's COVID and we know not many people want to go to the movie theaters. So we're going to make sure we make the best movie ever.
Yeah. I'm like, oh. I mean, and to be fair, it's like the first movie I felt motivated enough to go see in theaters, for the longest
Apparently
time.
It's worth it. So I can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm going to tag off Devin because that was also what I was going to say is I also saw Shang-Chi last week. No, it's good. I really enjoyed it a lot. I have some small flaw issues with it, but it's like you said, it's a breath of fresh air for the MCU. I think the lead actor Simu Liu is fantastic. He's charismatic as hell and he's really good, and the kung fu is pretty dope. One sequence in significantly above all the rest is just like and I love how the movie is a bit of a twist on an origin story. It's not just a classic origin in a way.
Interesting.
Also, we'll probably once we all see it, we'll probably do an episode and talk about this. One of Marvel's better villains, he's up there, and
Loki.
Oh, shit.
It's a new villain.
New villain for Shang-Chi. Yeah, he is one of Marvel's best villains, I would say. Personally, for me.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, just because they actually gave him time. and I won't spoil any more. But it's very good movie, and I think everyone should go see it.
Hell yeah,
lots of fun.
Oscar, I think we're gonna have another Wonder Woman debate because I felt the exact
Oh
opposite.
boy. That's good. No, that's exciting. Something to look forward to then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it. That's everyone.
Woohoo!
That's the show, everyone. You can email us at thefortressof@gmail.com. Fortress spelled F-O-U-R. Yeah, feel free to email us any questions or feedback or anything like that you may have, or if we missed something that you wanted us to talk about in our main topic or the news or something. You can also follow us at The Fortress of on Instagram and Twitter, and also the Fortress of YouTube channel, which will have some fun little shorts up there and little fun gimmicky stuff in the coming weeks and stuff. Yeah. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandma, tell your cat. Review, play it in the background. Even if it's on mute, it's still playing, it still counts. So yeah, go ahead.
Or no, don't mute it. You can listen also.
You can actually listen.
You can actually listen also cool if you want to. But
yeah, the Fortress of good background noise.
That's our motto.
Thanks for listening, guys. If you are interested in following me, you can check me out on the Instagrams. My name is Alex is an Alien.
You guys can always follow me on Instagram on its_by_the_way, ITZ_by_the_way. Or you can follow me on Facebook at its_by_the_way, no underscore, ITZ_by_the_way. Or you can follow me on Twitch, where I stream some games sometimes. We play some fun shiz at twitch.tv/by_the_way.
Hell yeah.
Should I say mine? Or?
All right, good night. Good night, everybody. Happy holidays. Oh, wait, it's Devin's turn.
No, yeah,
My
go
bad.
ahead, Devin.
You know what? I don't even want to
Defeat. The defeat from last week.
I don't want followers.
Thanks for listening,
Thank you
everybody.
for listening, everyone. Before we go, we want to again thank Brian for the artwork. He did a fantastic job. Thank you, Alex, for the music and the intro and outro music. Devin, thanks for being here and starting this hilarious gimmick. One day you'll get it out. And thank you, Jackie, for helping edit the podcast every week and everything. Put a code on. It's cold out there. And yeah, we'll see you here next week in another episode of The Fortress of
WandaVision, 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 WandaVision.